Attention listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code DelphinPod. DelphinPod. Oh boy, sometimes I do feel like an alien when I'm shaving because I mess up down there and I'm like, what's this? This isn't human.
There can be some serious repercussions to that.
I feel like Ripley.
It can be a little strange.
Yeah, it can be a little strange. But if you're ready for an out of the world, so you want to say that?
Out of world.
Ready for an out-of-world experience, fellas? Look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped. That has just taken off. It's not only in the US, but also Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. And actually, I love the briefs so much. And I used the Lawnmower 4.0. Before it was available publicly, I got to test those bad boys. And first, scheduled for liftoff, the new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even Uranus. This 4th generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and it's even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 4,000 LED spotlight you can turn on and off when you needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. It's like having a little astronaut to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Don't forget to use Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver to help your little planets be on their A-game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Abort hairy balls and Buzz Lightyear that Woody with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DelphinPod at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code DelphinPod, DelphinPod at manscaped.com. For a clean trinity and beyond, your space balls will thank you. Welcome to another episode of Countdown to Infinity, a Marvel's Avengers podcast. If you hear a noise, I'm on a very fart-sounding chair.
It's also just gassy. So.
Yeah, and I'm also farting. I'm not even joking.
You're just gonna...
Welcome to our show. This is
that's the kind of show that we are.
Just to recap, this is Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. We talk all things Marvel Cinematic Universe, including the films, the TV shows, or I guess the streaming shows.
Series, yeah.
And the comic books as well. And we got kind of a combination of those things in our
topic of the
day. We are launching a brand new series. We're calling it Watching What If. What If is a brand new show that premiered on Disney Plus August 11th, and we're going to go episode by episode for the first 9 because we know a second 9 episodes will be coming out.
Is it going to be Watching What If or Wondering What If?
Watching What If.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? If we're wondering what if, then...
Yeah, because we're wondering, what if this happened?
How about watching What If and wondering what if?
Okay, sure.
My name's Emmanuel.
My name's Sophia.
And we're not prepared.
Friends. Oh.
Oh. There you go. Just, I guess
Both
we're both
those
right.
things,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I guess if we said wondering what if, that would make sense. But I want people to know we're watching the show. Because I feel like if we say wondering what if, it could be, we could be wondering what if, what if God was one of us?
What if?
We don't have the rights. We can't talk about it.
I didn't say it. I didn't say the words.
But we waited a whole 3 weeks for a brand new Marvel show to premiere, and what a long 3 weeks, huh?
What a long 3 weeks for watching What If.
There's a lot of small Marvel news and then some big stuff that we'll go over, I guess, soon. But I want to talk about this show in particular because, boy, howdy, have we been waiting for it.
And I've been super. Oh, I'm sorry. Go. You go. You go.
No, go.
No, you go.
No, go first.
No, I mean, I've been waiting for this for so long, and now that it's finally here, we have time to watch it, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so much better than what I would have anticipated ever. What I anticipated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a show that is perfect for the aftermath of the multiverses in the Loki season finale that we watched because it stars Uatu the Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright. I would say an alien being that observes the universe.
Doesn't interfere.
There's a whole lot of different universes out there for him to watch, and we get that here.
It's like we're the Watcher.
Who's watching the Watcher? we are. We're
watching the Watcher. Watching What If.
What If
Whoa.
with the Watcher.
Whoa!
Actually, the people listening, though, they're listening. They're not even watching. So listen to What If.
No, because we're not What If. We watched it. They're
I'm
listening
confused.
to us. They're listening to us who have watched What If
All right, too many W's.
on Wednesdays.
And all right, so let's talk about this episode that we saw. Episode 1 stars Captain Carter.
Yes.
And I mean, it's what would you think about this episode? And it's so let me read the full title. This episode, episode 1, is What If Captain Carter Were the First Avenger? What would you think about this app?
I mean, I thought it was great just to see all of that empowerment to Peggy Carter anyways. Like, just she deserves it so much just because she's a huge, huge character in the MCU just because of her backstory, of course, with Captain America or Steve Rogers. And first of all, loved seeing her buff. I mean, damn, she could have. She got a
super
dump
serum.
truck. Like, my gosh.
Oh my gosh, okay.
No, but yeah, she does take the serum instead of Steve, and that whole thing plays out. And I really like that the Watcher's the narrator, and I really love that he kind of goes into detail of like what the specific scenario was that changed everything, because that's all it takes is just a split second.
That diverging point. And here, and I believe that is going to be a motif, so we'll see that in every single episode.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And here, it's just really her decision to stay
in the room,
not in the booth.
Yeah.
And that it impacts
everything.
Who gets the
serum.
Treatment. And it's not to say that, Steve Rogers isn't a part of this, because he ends up being an important part of this, just without his, I guess, his the
storyline that we're comfortable and like have seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Without the serum. And I also love that it shows that it doesn't change who he is as a person, because even though he doesn't get all the popularity or all the publicity being Captain America and being that symbol during the war and everything else, but I do love that he kind of kept to himself, to his own heart and his sensitivity true. And just all of it, his empathy.
I mean, Captain Carter is a character from the comic books. I know for a while I was saying Captain Britain, but that's a different person entirely. But Captain Carter is definitely a product of the UK. She even bears the titular Captain Shield with the Union Jack flag on it as part of the alliance with the United States. What I'm interested in too is there's a character in this, and it's voiced by I shouldn't have brought it up without having all of this ready to go. But he's kind of the boss, and he is sort of kind of opposed to her taking the mantle because she's a woman.
Oh, yes.
Voiced by Bradley Whitford, but I'm going to find his name here in a bit.
The character's name?
Yeah, the character's name. Oh. But it was interesting to see them kind of hide her in a
Yeah,
different
100%.
way instead of sending her out on tours and stuff like that.
100%, and I really like that they kept that in there because if they would have gone with that whole other story, I mean,
Colonel Flynn.
I don't okay, and I don't remember who exactly, or I'm sorry, what the exact story is in the comic books, but I do love that they played it out this way, just because I know that that's how it would have been. Like they would have totally tried to cover up that she was that it was the first woman to take the serum, and that she was such an iconic role during the actual war, and that she's just kind of taking it backstage because that's exactly what they would have done in the time.
I think that there's also just this this fantastic storyline in this that is her still doing some of the things that we saw Captain America do.
Yeah.
Which is like rescue, Bucky and his crew. Yeah, maybe a little bit more successful too, not losing Bucky in the in the train incident.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Steve Rogers a little bit. Steve Rogers they get the Tesseract very quickly.
Yes.
And this whole show is fairly fast, I think. It recaps a whole hour and a half in like a 30-minute thing, maybe even a 2-hour movie. But, they get the Tesseract, and then she's able to give it to Howard Stark, and Howard Stark makes the Hydrasmasher.
Yeah.
So Steve Rogers can be a part of it and still trust him with that power, even though it's a little like a Hydra Crusher is a little like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Kind of like the first one.
The first one, yeah. That's what I was
fun.
thinking too, yeah.
What do you think about Hydra Crusher? Or really, Steve Rogers?
Steve Rogers is great. I mean, of course, he deserves something just because of his personality, and like he was just born to be a hero anyway. Just because he has that drive, that motivation, the empathy, like I said before. But yeah, I do love that he got a little something. I do wonder how that played out. Like, I mean, I know we're probably not going to be able to see that pan out, but I do want to see what happens after Peggy or Captain Carter, excuse me, goes. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but after she goes into I don't even know what to call it. It's like a portal.
Yeah,
basically. That was from the Tesseract. Excuse me.
Another yawn.
Yeah, I'm bad at that. Sorry. But yeah, Steve. I mean, he was basically there to support her, even though she didn't necessarily need the physical support, but it was more of like the emotional and verbal support that she needed in order to push. Well, not just her, but the entire team needed that little extra boost.
Yeah, Peggy tells him that he is still a huge inspiration to her, even
to her.
though he's not, the Captain America that we recognize. But I thought it was fantastic that they still have that closeness, that friendship, and then kind of that romance, right? They still owe each other a dance.
Yeah.
That was kind of, I mean, we'll talk about the ending, but there is still that kind of star-crossed bad timing love that is them missing each other, by decades again, just like it's kind of inevitable for these two.
And I think that drives the characters, though, like, as their own. Does that make sense? Like, they weren't supposed to be together because that motivates the character in the future. Like, for instance, it motivates Steve in the future because we know, like, how his story plays out because of Peggy being gone the whole time. And then also now we can assume that the same thing would happen to Captain Carter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's sad in a way, but it also feels kind of cyclical. And and then remember, I guess Captain America does do something with time where he goes back in time. And I don't know. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of theories and stuff about where old Captain America is. Maybe he is with old Peggy.
We'll see.
Good old Peggy, huh? Let's talk about Hydra a little bit. I mean, that is, I think, something that was expanded a lot more in this show. The Hydra that we see in the movie seems to be definitely, I mean, a part of the Third Reich, but he's trying to get the Tesseract. He's not trying to do this stuff. I mean, it goes beyond. There's kind of like some magical, mystical elements. He's incredibly, power hungry.
Someone fucked up somewhere because they told him it was a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, we get this multi-dimensional monster, kind of Cthulhu, squid, octopus monster. They said it was inspired kind of like by the opening of Guardians Volume 3. Do you remember when they're battling that giant monster?
Fun.
So there is like this really giant
tentacle monster thing,
and it's still insane because Red Skull is there, but he's like killed in a very comedic, like, this monster doesn't care who you are.
an ironic way too, because he's the one that brought it.
Yeah. What'd you think about Hydra and seeing them again? Because Hydra is the main villain for Captain America and Captain Carter, I guess, in this series. But what do you think about seeing Hydra again?
I thought that the whole thing was really funny just because of Red Skull. I mean, I didn't think that he was going to die that way, and so it was like a pleasant surprise just to have that part kind of literally squished. And then I do think that the whole monster thing being held by Hydra, like that was for sure going to be the point. Because I was wondering, like, how are they going to get rid of Carter? Because there's no way that she will last all the way up until present day or all the way until, like, from what we can recognize as the timelines aligning, because of her coming back and everything. But I was wondering how they were going to get rid of her, and so the portal with the octopus-looking thing, of course, just makes sense. So I liked it.
And the Hydra symbol is an octopus. So
yeah.
It would make sense that there's something that's like the namesake or the...
It's like the mascot.
Yeah,
almost.
the mascot of Hydra. I mean, well, let's talk about the ending before we go into some more
dancing
what-if
around
stuff.
it. Yeah.
But she does go into this dimension. Who knows how long? It seems like she defeats the monster and then gets spit back out in the Nick Fury, scene from Avengers.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this? I mean, there's all kinds of like correlations, of course, to like sacrificing your life, and there's almost even like a sacrifice off when Hydrasmasher and with Steve Rogers wants to be the one to to go in there, and of course, he runs out of power, so Peggy ends up being
the one doing it,
the one to sacrifice her life. But what do you think happens in there? Do you think it's only like a day for her, and then she's like, "Whoa, where am I now?"
Well, I mean,
or do you think it's like I waited here?
That's kind of like how it was with Steve, though, right? When he woke up, he didn't realize how long he was out for.
He was frozen, which
I mean, that's different. But I mean, it could be the same for her because she doesn't I don't know if time is recognized as the same or can be measured in the same
in that
way
octopus dimension.
Yeah, as it could. Like, I don't know if she just felt like she was constantly like falling, or if she. I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know, but. I do think that it's going to. I mean, if they want to continue any of these stories, they 100% totally can. Like it could be like what if continued, or I don't care. But I would love to see that point of view for sure. Or it could be like a Doctor Strange sitch where it's just like a bunch of weird, trippy, almost like shroom type trips where you just really don't know what the fuck is going on. It's just nothing but sensation. So. I would love that. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, and I mean, so there's something really fun seeing Captain Carter. It seems like it's a little less broody and serious as Captain America. She's having a lot of fun with her power in this.
I love how sassy she is on the whole sexist comments because she gets them constantly as she's fighting all these guys like, oh my gosh,
1940s the world is very different for
sure, and that's why I'm so in love with it because it's like, this is hello, like, yes, put them in their place, girl.
Yeah, and it's kind of exciting because she takes that mantle herself. We talked about that Colonel who takes credit for it, by the end.
Which is also something that would have for sure happened back then.
But she would constantly fight, her own battles until she is the leader, like that we know and see at the very end of it. But it's really exciting. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the cast that returned. The entire cast has returned for this, outside of Hugo Weaving, who plays Red Skull. That includes, of course, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, and Hydrasmasher. Samuel L. Jackson's back as Nick Fury. Jeremy Renner plays Clint Barton. Stanley Tucci is in this with his Erskine character. Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, because Howard Stark's in this. Bradley Whitford's kind of a new addition, but there's Sebastian Stan is in this. Daryl Hammond is. There's all of the cast come back. What and they announced the list of actors who were going to be in What If, and it was a massive list of all the Marvel characters and the actors that play them in the live action version. But I'm not surprised that they all came back because some of them maybe only have like 2 lines. So,
plus, you need them all to tie everything together. Like, it would be really weird if we just heard a random voice for Peggy, and we're like, why didn't you just get Peggy? Like, hello? Like, we know she's there. We know Marvel's paid them before. And
it's important, too, because this is canon, even though it's animated.
Yeah.
In a really cool 2D, 3D
So
comic
cool.
book
Oh my
magazine
gosh,
style.
yeah.
It is all canon, and these are all events of the diverging points across the multiverse. So to hear the voice of Captain Carter and know that that's something that's actually happening in the multiverse with another Captain Carter, like it's super important. It's really fun to see it, and it just makes you really excited for what else they've got, down the pipe, because there's going to be quite a bit. I loved hearing the kind of reminiscent scores of the first Captain America movie, little twist to a lot of the Marvel stuff, and really just like really familiar moments, I think, too. Moments that you'd be like, oh yeah, this does feel like a Captain America movie, even though it's Captain Carter and things are turning out differently. This is something that you would recognize from Captain America, and it'll be interesting further down when the series goes kind of more crazy, how they keep that
Going.
similar thing going.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else are you what else are you most excited for down the road?
So with What If, because this one was so well written and also just beautifully animated, like, my gosh, I could not take my eyes off of the screen. Like, during some of those fight scenes, oh my gosh, when she took an entire, what is it called? Like, the entire team that came up to her, I think was it Germany or was it France? I can't remember, but when she fought like just a whole like
that's
16,
definitely Nazis. Yeah,
they're German, right? Like it had to be in Germany, but yeah, like that whole badass scene of her just like literally kicking fucking ass. Like, it was so great to see. I don't know how they would be able to do this live action. Like, if they were, I think that's why they animated it so much, just because I could never see actual Peggy Carter like 6'8" and like friggin'
it totally could
buffed
happen.
out. That'd be insane. Like, she's just so tiny and cute. And
people
like,
loved Haley Atwell when she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they brought her back. She had her
Yeah.
own show too.
but
Peggy
she's
Carter.
not 6'13" and like
it could happen.
massive.
You don't think she can get swole?
I think she could get swole. I don't think she can stretch out that much.
They got a good team over
Maybe
there.
they can do
Marvel.
some like CGI stuff.
They can
Like,
get
I don't
her.
know if they can get there.
They can do the Lord of the Rings thing where there's like a forced perspective where
You know
you've
what?
got like a.
They've done it with Star Wars too, huh? Because full on animation. So Disney got that money. They'll be
Yeah,
alright. They'll
they
be
can
alright.
have it.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
I think that would be really interesting to see. And I don't know if there's like a multiversal war, but to even see just a glimpse of Captain Carter, in
the
live
future?
action would
Yeah.
be bonkers,
That'd be
especially. If it crosses from this animation that we kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, if you're a little nervous because it's animated and you may think it's like a less than show, like it's very much it's like a great Marvel thing, and it's just as good as all of the other series and movies, really.
And you really don't necessarily need to understand all of the other movies just because these characters have a life of their own and they have their own
You
little
appreciate
storyline.
more if you've seen the films, of course, but
Yeah,
yes,
because there's like little hints of
They're-
what actually happened and then
they're
what's
contained.
happening now.
They're incredibly fun, and they don't feel like a classic 3-act animated cartoon thing.
No, not at all.
It's very much like it's very character driven stuff.
I think I mentioned this the last time that I kind of wanted it to feel like the Spider-Man movie. Is it? It's not Far From Home. Oh my gosh.
And Spider-Verse.
Yes. And again, I forgot it, and that's because we talked about it last time.
last
I forgot
week.
about it. But yeah, no, I was expecting that level of animation, and Disney delivered. Like,
Yeah.
it just looks so fucking cool.
It's
And the characters just come to life with their own voices, like from the live action movies, and it's just great.
Yeah, there's like a very nice fluidity and like everything's alive in the frames, which is really fun.
It's so funny too. Like the lines are just, oh my gosh, it's just so good. I loved it.
Yeah, and I think that there's a very accurate representation of the characters. All the Howling Commandos, obviously Peggy Carter, like they look like the live action versions, which I'm sure is like
Intentional.
greatly appreciated. But they can do way more in animation than You can animate anything.
For sure, yeah. But
we're about to see zombies soon.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like in each episode, you can totally tell that Disney did not skip out on any production value because it's just it's so cool. It's so cool looking.
And what's really fun is this is like the heart and soul of Marvel, which is take this idea, maybe like Captain America and his altruism and his kindness, but in the comic books, they redo it. There's Captain Britain, of course. They've done Captain Carter. Then Captain America has changed multiple times, but of course in live action you can really, I guess they've done that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but you're a little more limited. But in cartoons, this feels like a comic book. Like it not just looks like a comic book, but the idea that you can have fun with kind of like the idea of what a superhero is and who we know as a superhero. Yeah. I feel like we're about to get like a T'Challa combo with Star-Lord, and that's exciting.
That's going to be really, really cool.
You can do so much. Well, I don't know what the next episode is. I feel like it might be T'Challa, Star-Lord, or a Loki thing.
I would love that.
But what do you, I guess, there's not really like a linear story, so we can't talk really about what we're looking forward to next because I don't know if we're seeing another Captain Carter.
Yeah.
After this episode.
That's true, yeah.
I guess they could bring someone back. Like, we can bring Captain Carter back, but... I mean, how do you feel about that? Just the idea that you're just seeing like snippets of bookended stories.
Well, with the ending, because she talks to Fury and Hawkeye, I think that opens the doors for them to continue it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because then she would officially be part of the Avengers, and then that's where it takes off from there. Like, we all know what happens.
What does Hydrasmasher do in that time? Because the Tesseract...
That's true.
What happens to this Tesseract? Because that was the whole reason why Loki is the bad guy from Avengers. If that isn't there, then who... is there even a villain in Avengers for... during that time period?
And since it's a different universe and alternate everything, like, who would be the villain? Like, is it still going to be Thanos, or is it going to be somebody else?
I mean, I wonder if
I'm
we
sure
do...
it's going to be Thanos, but I
wonder if we do revisit her. I feel like that's the biggest danger, is people just loving a character so much, and then you telling them, that was a one-off.
So with the Watcher, because he doesn't interfere with anything, he literally just watches everything. Is he also... This might be a stupid question, but is he also watching every other single story going on at the same time? That's so much information.
That would be one of the biggest twists for me, is if maybe in episode 3 or in episode 6 we find out that there is a connection between all of these
that
things.
Would be really
I mean,
cool.
we do know, of course, that like the Watcher is connecting them all because he's watching everything. But like, what if there was some agency to this, and Captain Carter wants to help save the zombies or something? They don't need it, obviously, because there's infinite universes, but that would be something I wouldn't be expecting from this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? We'll be back next week to watch it. But Sophia, what do you have to plug?
So just the same old stuff. Thank you so much for everybody listening to the pod. This pod specifically, hi, thank you so much. But also every other pod under the Dolphin Pod network. If you want to contribute in other ways, you can totally check out our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/dolphinpod, DELFINPOD. And then if you want to follow me on any social medias, you sure can. Everything's going to be @_simply Sophie, SOFIE. Oh, and then also, I guess you can talk about that more because I really can't, but check out Manscaped.
Yeah. Check them out. I will be back next week for another episode. We'll also be in the week after. Wait, hold on. September 3rd, Shang-Chi.
Hang on, wait, what? No, just kidding.
September 3rd, there's a new movie coming out, exclusive to theaters, confirmed. It's not going to be available at home, so only go if you feel safe and you're vaccinated. But Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings comes out September 3rd, and we'll definitely be talking about that. That'll be in the middle of our What If series. Again, be vaccinated when you go and watch it, but
Please
it
be
is
careful.
going to only be in theaters, so we'll have to see if that works for Disney. But we'll definitely be excited and talk about it more along the way, probably with
100%.
some special guests.
Yeah,
but
sure.
if you want to support the pod, do everything that Sophia said, but you can definitely go and get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That'll help us, and it'll be great for you and your balls.
Thank you for everybody. Thank you who have already done it. Thank you.
Your balls have already thanked us.
I'm sure.
They've sent us letters of thanks in the mail.
Yeah.
And they're stamped with
It's
just
stamped
balls.
with just pubic hair and the outline of balls.
Gross. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.